everything from, if you will, and I'll tell you his setup. His setup is pretty much, it's a Money Robot, but what most people think of, oh, Money Robot spam. No, well, if you use Money Robot the way most people use it, it's spam. But what you can do is, and this is what this guy does, he has millions of websites in which he has his own login, his own user information, which aren't spammy sites, and all are niche relevant, right? And he has them already filled out. It's his own PBN, if you will, his own news sites, his own press release sites. And then he goes in there and he creates backlinks using blogs and articles and creates map stacks. And once you see it, your mind, I mean, when I found him, my mind was blown away, especially for the cost. Okay. But what I'm working on with him is giving y'all a deal in which he's going to give y'all one free, if you will, one free campaign per person. So if he can do that for me, then I'm going to have him on. But that's the only other person I'm likely to have on, mainly because of the sheer fact the rest of them, the rest of my nights here this week are going to be Q&As per se. And then next week, what I'm going to be doing next week is simply, will not be lives. It's literally going to be like 100+ short videos in which I'm going to go, okay, how do you set up Google Search Console? How do you set up Google Analytics? You know, how do you do keyword research? Literally 5-minute videos, and I'm going to post them on the back end of the course for y'all so y'all could have them. Because we've already ranked, which is what the course was about. We already ranked the Havoc up in Frederick County. He's already dominating the 3-pack. He's been dominating the 3-pack for about the past 4 weeks. So it took us a little over 2 weeks to do it. I meant 2 months, not 2 weeks. But so if you have Q&As or things you want me to go over during this time, this would be the time to have it, you know, drop those questions, and then I'll answer them as best as I can. But we're going to go over G stacks today, because I know I had, besides Valerie, I had a couple other people wanting that.
I got a question.
Yep.
You still have not totally explained, as far as I know, unless I missed it that day, how you're using like PBNs, like, you know, like auction domains.
That's what I could show you how. I mean, Link Daddy, I don't even build them no more because of Link Daddy. Let me put it that way. I mean, I just dropped $2,000 on him.
What about redirects?
Nope. Everything I've had him done is so powerful so far. I look, and Mia, you talked before, we'll do redirects. I'll do those sometimes, but I barely ever have to use them anymore. You could set up your
more detail about them, the redirects, though.
I'll go in more detail about those, and then I'll show y'all how to set up. I'll put it on maybe tomorrow. We'll talk about PBNs, because there is one way I'm actually currently talking about building out a PBN for specifically, let's say I'm trying to rank in Maryland, right? Baltimore, Maryland, or Maryland in general. And what I'm thinking about talking to y'all about is just how would I set up a PBN if I wanted backlinks for, let's say, Havoc Repair in Baltimore, or just a news site in Baltimore. Then I would show you how to buy the news site, and then how am I going to enable it and create it as a cityscape PBN. By cityscape, I mean the whole PBN, or that whole website news site, is nothing but news about Baltimore. And then it will have a category in there about, if I'm dealing with, let's say, Havoc Repair, I'll have a page about Havoc Repair, neighborhoods about Havoc Repair, and other areas, things to do. Everything's about Maryland, if you will, but it's on a PBN. So it doesn't look too spammy, but we'll probably go over that. Let me think about maybe tomorrow, because I know you've been asking about it for a bit.
Also, by the way, are you all right, man? Like, you disappeared for a bit there. Everyone wants to make sure you're okay. You okay?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm all right. It's just, I mean, I could get into it, but personal things was I had a infection in my mouth because of the sheer fact, and I hate dentists. I utterly, until this woman, I absolutely hated them, mainly because of the sheer fact. When I was a kid, and this guy's since been put out of business. When I was a kid, there was a dentist, and the guy goes, "God giveth, God taketh away." He twisted my tooth, yanked it out when he said, "God taketh away." I've been terrified. And when I say terrified, I mean terrified. I'm 300 pounds terrified of any dentist, ever going to a dentist. And I went to this dentist, and I found her in, this is in the Philippines, mind you. So that's terrifying enough to go to any doctor in the Philippines, because you're going into a place that looks like, okay, you're in the slums in the States to get your tooth pulled out, but it's halfway decent. And then I go in, and the lady told her what was wrong, and she looked at it, she's like, "Oh my God," and is in my mouth. And she gave me medication for about 2 weeks to try to get rid of the infection. The infection finally went away, or subsided, and I still had a little bit of pain. Is it so much pain I'd be sitting and I'd just be in tears? I could sit here with y'all if I wanted to, and I'd probably get teared up if I tried to do classes during that time. And so she gave me medication, got the infection cleared out, and then she went in to pull it out. When she's pulling it out and cutting and all that crap, she's sitting there humming and singing the whole time. And then she did something funny, which I thought was interesting. It's kind of like Tony Robbins, where he talks about what's the term he uses for it? It's where he basically says you say a specific word or do something to change the way you think about something, or your association with pain. Instead of it being pain, it's different. The woman, when she pulls out the tooth and shows it to me, she goes, "It's a boy." And I thought it was so funny. And I had literally no pain. The woman, when she gave me the shots are the most painful usually, and I didn't feel no pain the entire time. She pulled it out, and then I went back the next, in 3 days after that pain subsided, because the shots and the numbs, all that's crap. And she dealt with the secondary issue. And now when I go back again, I'm going to have her deal with one other issue. So, but all of which is dental issues. It's just, I obviously can't be dealing with it at the same time. Yeah, Jeff, he lives here in the Philippines. He lives in Manila, and he's still scared of doctors. But in Manila, I would say that the hospitals are actually like ones in America. So I'm not scared of doctors. I've had major surgery before, so I hear y'all, dental infection is serious. Yeah, most people, for instance, most people don't realize you can actually have heart attacks, blood clots, and everything else from not taking care of your teeth and not dealing with issues. So that's why I just dealt with that. Dentists are like teachers, some are nightmares, some are, yeah, it's true. And this woman, she just sitting there singing the whole time while she's doing it. So, but it was very interesting to say the least. But got that taken care of and got the issue dealt with. But this week, still have a little cough, but other than that, fine. My wife's got a serious cough, so she's taking some meds to deal with her issue, and I'm kind of staying away from her. And obviously not going outside, because if you go outside and you're coughing, it's instantaneously COVID. They don't even care. Hey, I mean, it's not. It's what can I say? It's a little bit different over here. If you cough, sneeze, anything, people look at you like you got COVID. So staying inside, take your meds, take your vitamins, and drink your soup, and it gets better and better every day. So this week, like I said, we're going to go over Q&As. Today I'm going to go over Google Entity Authority Stacks. What are they? Why are they important? How do we use them? Thank you, Scott. And then after that, tomorrow, maybe we'll do PBNs tomorrow, and I'll show you what a PBN is, why is it important, how can you use it. I've had clients, when I send them out, hey, I got this, hey, I'm going to be starting backlinks this month. What do you want your main keyword, because I only do one keyword when I do a PBN. I'm not doing like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 keywords because I don't want to dilute the effectiveness. And I had a client literally go, I'm scared to death of PBNs. They're only scared because they've heard, oh, Google hates PBNs. Google took out a bunch of PBNs years ago and they're no longer effective. You ask anybody like Craig Campbell, they'll tell you they're very much effective. He makes millions off of PBNs and very much effective as long as you do them right and not spammy. So let's see if we got any other questions before I start. GStack questions. Do you need a new Gmail account for each set or use one account for multiple entities? I use one new Gmail account for each one I ever do. Why? Because if, like I said, we're building 250 new rank and rent type websites every month, and every one of them have their own stack, and I want an email associated with each stack. And on top of it, I want them to have their own login so they can go in and edit, change things if they want. So that's why I do it. It's nothing, nothing other than that. That's the main reason why I do it. So here's the slideshow. This is going to be in the back of the group. I normally don't do slideshows, but this is something actually one of my VAs put together for me. So Google Stack is essentially, I'm taking all of the Google properties being, or entities being Google Documents, Google Sheets, Google Forms, Google Slides, the calendar, the Google site. There's tons and tons and tons and tons of, not tons, but like 11 different properties you can use. A Google Authority Stack is also known by any other names. You'll see OMGYRY stacks by Branner, I believe, and a couple other guys in the SEO community. And basically, essentially, most people will tell you they don't work, or like they used to work, now they don't. The fact is they do work. They work very well. If you use them correctly. Most people go on Fiverr and Legit and they order one and they say, hey, here's my keywords, and the guy makes one up. And then when they think it doesn't work, they're like, well, why doesn't it work no more? And well, they never set it up correctly to use in the way in which I would tell you to use it. The way in which I would wind up telling you to use it's going to be a little bit different, which is essentially the reason why one will work, one won't work. Like, are you backlinking to your Google properties? Are you backlinking to your folders? Are you backlinking to your G site? How have you set up your G site? Those are all questions that will tell me, is it going to work or not work? So here's an illustration for you. You have a money site. Your money site is, let's say, your website. We're going to call it, in this case, let's just call it, rankfortress.com or, John, the personal injury lawyer.com, whatever. And then you have a Google site. A Google site is not the G site that comes with your GMB. It is not the G site that comes with your GMB. Most people get it confused, okay? Then after that, you have your Google properties. Your Google properties are also tied to your Google site, okay? Then outside of your Google properties, you can use a PBN, press releases, anything, but I personally would use a PBN. Okay. Right. The next step.
Just for clarification, is the Google site sites.google.com? Is that the Google
Correct.
site? Thanks.
Yep. And we'll go through that. And I'll even show you a couple of them. All right. So how to execute, and let me go ahead and show y'all an actual Google site before we go to the next step too. And this one is not built out completely because, like I said, we got 200 something of them. It's not going to be built out completely. Mike. All right. And I don't think I even went over this stack I'm about to show y'all too. So there's another stack called a will stack. I just call it Will Stack because it's easier for me. This is what I call, I don't even remember. This is what I call Will Stack. Will Stack is my main keyword on the website, which in this case is tree removal, St. Charles County. I embed the GMB site, right? And then I have the updates from the GMB site, which are here, which all with all the links. All right. And then I have the reviews as part of the GMB site. The galleries are part of the GMB site. All that's a part of the GMB site. Then down here, these are actually hot links from the GMB posts because I've hot linked them in. This is an RSS feed. And then this would be your NAP, and this would be an inserted keyword inserted GMAP. Okay. That's what all of that is. That's a stack. I don't remember if I went over it. If y'all want me to go over that later in another class, I can. Okay. But that's another stack altogether. Let me pull up the actual G stack that I want to show y'all. Any questions, just drop them in on the side and I will go over it. The other one I'll go over is called a cloud stack. I don't build them, I buy them. I'm not gonna waste my time with some things. You can actually get the program to, yes, that was on a money site. That Will Stack I put directly on the money site. So if you want to, we'll go over that this week. It's really simple. It'll take me probably 10 minutes to show you how to do it. And I have a SOP for that as well, by the way. So, and I'm going to hide a couple of these rows so y'all don't see the login information. All right. All right, let me hide that. All right, so we're going to show you all this. This would be, if you will, this would be the actual document that I use to organize my G stack. Okay. Up here, and I'll give you all the template for this. Official site. What's the official site? It's the money site, right? Which is the actual website I'm trying to rank. What you're essentially doing, you have a money site, G site, and then you have the entities, and then you have the PBN, because you want this to flow through, the authority to flow through all of them to hit your money site. What most people do, which is wrong, and I've known this since I've been in SEO ever, is they put backlinks directly to their money site. They don't try to tier anything. They don't try to filter anything or anything like that. And that can screw your rankings up dramatically. Let's say you go on and buy 1,000 backlinks or 100 backlinks and one of them winds up being crap. It can make your rankings drop, and then you have to go and disavow the backlinks, stuff like that. When I'm taking backlinks and I'm pushing them from a PBN into Google entities, I don't have to do any of that. I don't ever have to worry about those backlinks or anything. Okay. So for example, here's the Gmail account that it would be associated with. Over here, you would normally see username and password. Once I put this up on the back end, you'll see that. I just don't want the personal information showing. And then over here, you're going to have, this is your Google Drive. This is your Google Doc. This is your Google Spreadsheet slide. Every entity I need. The blogger you definitely need for the IFTT, which we already went over. On your Weebly, you need it for what we already went over for your IFTTT. You need all your social media accounts. These are all very important. Until you have all this information together, the keywords, name, address, phone number. Until you have all that together, don't even think about starting a G-Stack, okay? Let me go here and I'm going to show you what one looks like. Give me 1 second because Michael wants to come in here. All right. So this is your basic, if you will, basic G-Stack. And this is when I say basic, this is basic. It's not completely done out or anything like that. Okay. On your G-Stack. This is G-Stack. This looks pretty simple. I mean, it has a home, about us up here. Once we're done with this, it's going to have all their services. It's going to look essentially like a regular website with every page, all the neighborhood pages, all the backlinks, linking all to the money site. This will all link to the money site. Okay. So let's pull all this up. You're going to have, you have your money site. This is your Google site. Your Google site will link back to your money site. So here's some text you have up here. Then you have, this is your PDF, all right? All of your backlinks, all of this has all of your drive stacks, all of everything you already seen in the spreadsheet, you know? Okay, then we have this, and then this right here is leading over to, you know, a link. It links out. And then you have this. This is a slideshow. Before you can create your G site, you have to have all these properties made out, right? This is okay. You have to have all this so you could do the embeds. And once I show you the G site, you'll understand why. All these links. This is a calendar. All this goes on perpetually. I'm trying to get ranked for dumpster rental, already ranking for dumpster rental. Then you got a form here, pictures, NAP information, all your links here, right? Another map that you've made up, all these embeds down here, and then we backlink to all of this, right? But to get to this point, you have to build out everything first, right? So let's go over all that first. But that's generally how a map stack, if you will look, you know, if you want to know what a Google site will look like. But then once we're done with everything, then we're going to go to the actual site and we're actually going to create pages just like in the regular website. We're going to take all that same text, all the same images, every piece of text that's linked back to your money site. We're going to do all that. That's what most of the time you'll talk about, like JJ and different people will charge $2,000 for, make them very, 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 very effective to changing grids from red to green. So let's go over how to build one out. So how to create a Google site. First, okay, give me 1 second. First, you're going to have to, let's share the screen with y'all. First, you're going to have to create the content on Google site promoting your money site, okay? Include all the information from your money site and the services you offer. That's why that spreadsheet is very important. What services? You may have 5 services, you may have 100, and you're going to need to create all those pages on your Google money site if you want it to be as effective as what I'm talking about, and not just simply some Fiverr gig or legit gig that you go out and buy or have your VA make, okay? You're going to need the embed link for your money site. You're going to have to push all this traffic to your money site with do follow links, right? You're going to create all of your Google properties or files. That's why I have this spreadsheet. And if you look at the spreadsheet has all of the stacks for your drive, your doc, your spreadsheet, your slide, your drawing, your form, your calendar, your mind map, then Google site, obviously, then PDF, then Blogger, then Weebly. All right. So you have all of these different things, everything. You want to create them all before even trying to create your money site. Right. Let's open up your Google entities and properties and show you where you find all of this lovely information at. Give me 1 second. If you have any questions, drop them down in the chat and I will get to them. How you doing, Michael? I mean, fairly most of this, for example, if you come over to here, you have your Google Sheets. I'm in Google Sheets right now. You go to Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Forms, all that stuff is in here, right? And you're going to be creating everything in there. So for example, for your Google Documents, you're going to need some articles. You're going to need some press releases. You're going to need that information to even create your Google document. Okay. Inside your Google document, you're going to paste your content and you're going to hyperlink certain keywords. You don't just go in there and go, let me select a word that just says contact us and link it back to your money site. You're going to go in there and look for, okay, I'm trying to rank for emergency HVAC repair in Jacksonville. And I'm going to hyperlink that text back to that specific page on my money website. Okay. In those keywords, you want to embed the URL of your Google site and other Google properties, just like I showed you at the front of it. You know, and I'm going to give y'all all of this in the back end. So if we go over it too fast, you'll have it all back there so you can see it, because this is a lot to try to cover in 1 hour. Publish the document after you finalize the content. Okay. Publish it. What do I mean by publish it? So let's say I was to create this new form, or even you can send it to whomever. You have your settings, all this in here, you know, and then whenever specifically under, let's say, document, you know how under documents you can make it public or shareable or not shareable. You need to make it shareable. Once you go to publish it, you need to change this restriction from anyone with the link can view it. Okay. And then hit done.
Hey, William.
Yep.
You're doing this all on the Gmail account that you use to create the site with, the Google site
Correct.
with, and
Correct.
okay.
Everything's going to be, and we have that spreadsheet. That's why I hid the user information. I want people seeing it. But you use
fine.
that on each and every single one you ever have to do. If you have to do 10 of them, you want 10 Gmails to separate everything. Just the way I do it. It's the way I do it. So,
right.
So that's what you're going to do. You're going to have all that information. You have to have all your content, all your text, all your, you know, press releases, articles before you even try to do any of this. So step 2 is your Google Sheet. Same thing. Inside your Google Sheet, you're going to place all the links from the properties mentioned, which is what we've shown over here. You see all these links? Okay, here's what a Google document will look like. You know, if you click on to any of this, let me show you what a Google Doc will look like. I'm going to show you a Google Spreadsheet will look like. It's Google Doc, right? Trying to rank for residential dumpster rental, right? And then here's all the follow us links that are in it. You know, this is not maxed out. And this is just, I wanted to show y'all something basic. And we do the same thing with a spreadsheet.
Do you send CTR to the Google Doc or the spreadsheet?
You got it. Underneath the CTR, which I'll show you the back end if I can, you can actually send the CTR to different aspects of your properties. Okay. So here's the Google Sheet, has all the Google documents, everything you've created, all your social media profiles. You can put all your web 20s in here. You can put everything. This is just a very basic one. So web 20 being, let's say, for example, Weebly or Tumblr, all that stuff, right? So underneath Google Sheet, do the same thing. Same thing I've already shown you. And I'm going to have all this so you can look at every single thing in the back end, okay? Google Slideshow. What's a slideshow? You take images and everything you want, and you make a slideshow out of it. You're going to put your services, your keywords in there. You're going to hyperlink them to the Google properties. You're going to publish it and make it public or make it non-restricted after you've done so. Same thing with Google Form. Same damn thing. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over again. Your Google folder. Now, the Google folder is inside of your Google Drive. If you have ever been to drive.google.com, this is all it looks like. Right? And that right there, you will have a drive set up for that specific, folder. And you're going to place all your properties in there, all your PDFs, your Excel, your PowerPoint, your Word, all of it. Then you're going to publish that folder after you're done. All right. If you have any questions, drop them down there. I'm going to go through this really, really fast, and then I'll answer questions. Google Calendar, right? What can I do with Google Calendar? Like I already showed you on Google Calendar, we can sit there and go, right, we're going to talk about, it's going to be residential, whatever, junk removal and everything, or dumpster rental, and everything. All of these are linked over to, or hyperlinks linked out. Okay. And it's dumpster rental in Birmingham, Alabama. And if I was to show y'all everything, when you click on any one of these, it gives you all this information. When is it? Where is it? Which is the NAP, short description, NAP with the money, then all of your links to all your Google properties, all your social properties, everything. All right. PDF is the same thing. Same damn thing. It's just you're taking a document and making it into a PDF. All right. You finalize it, you publish it, and that's it. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Your MS Word, you can do the same. It's the same thing. Same thing over and over and over again. Let me go through every single one of this with you. And I'll
So I think I speak for the entire class when we all ask you, what do we all need to have prepared before we order your $97 Google stack?
Nothing. When you order the actual stack from me, we do it for you. So all the prep work, let's say me getting the documents, the articles, and your properties, I put all of that together. So instead of you having to do it, we do it. That's the biggest difference. And once we put it together, then we do it for you. That's the basic stack. That's not me copying every single page on your entire website. If you want us to do that, then we can also do that. And we'll get to that. But so let's go on to Word. Same thing, PowerPoint. We take all the information we've gathered, we make it all up for you. All right. Then then after we've done all that, right? Then we put it all in the G site, which is what I showed you earlier. Now, what you're going to want to wind up doing, let me pull it up for you and I'll show you this, is once we're actually done with this site, once we're actually done with this, it's going to have, and I'll show you, this will wind up having all of these services, all of these pages. And how will I do that? Let's say, take, for example, tree removal. I'm literally going to take this information right here, all this text, all these images, all of that, and put it in on a Google site, right? I will wind up putting it on a Google site. And then what happens is whenever I do that, what makes it more effective is you're going to have everything that's here linked. All this text will be linked to your money site. Instead of it just being, okay, it's just a home and about us, now it's going to have every single page that's ever been on that website. Tree removal, stump grinding, emergency tree removal services, tree trimming, tree pruning, everything, and all of it's linked back to your money website. But instead of taking a bunch of backlinks from a PBN or Web 20 properties and putting them straight to your website, you're putting them to Google entities. Most people will do that and say, well, the reason behind it is Google is obviously not going to penalize a Google property for having too many backlinks, where if you shit through 1,000 backlinks at a money site, they're going to be like, well, this looks suspicious. Why is there so many backlinks going to it? I've never had an issue with taking backlinks, putting it to any of the Google properties and getting it ranked. We, like I said, the guy's going to actually be on that we do the backlinking with, but this is pretty much what a Google stack is. I'll go over the rest of it, but on the sites.google, I'll show you how pretty simple this is. I mean, let's go ahead and do a share screen. So this is Google sites.google.com, right? This is it. Let's just say, I think, let's take one of these. This is from templates. If you wanted to take a template, dog walker, restaurant, I mean, you could use it, whatever. I'm just grabbing one. You could do a blank one if you wanted to as well. Let's go with a blank one. It's pretty much like a a builder. I can go, okay, let's call it GMB SEO local. Hey, that local masterclass or whatever. Right? So what am I going to call this site? I'm going to call it like this. And then I want to put in, let's say, an image. I click on images, I upload an image, and I choose the image I want to drop in here. Let's just go over here. Let's choose some images. Rank Fortress William. I don't know. Maybe they have some images where people hate me. I don't know. Whatever. So let's take this one right here. Right. We're just trying to do this down dirty and fast. So we're going to go images, upload the image, grab the image, push the image there. We want to do a text box. We click on text box. You drag and literally, let's say I wanted to do Rank Fortress, right? All right, rankfortress.com. And I just wanted to take this text right here. This might not be the best example, but I take this text right here, put it here. Let's say I wanted to link. There was a link in this text, which there's not because my site's up a little bit different. But I wanted it to link back to quality. This SEO services was going to link back to my website. Apply it. Now it links. I'll literally copy every single page, This is just the home page, right? Now, when I want to go to create another page, this is the home page, and I want to create another page. Let's call this page, we're going to call it SEO or web design services, right? Done. And it creates this blank page, right? And then I can go in here and I can change this image up here. I'm just doing this dirty and fast. This changes this image. Okay. And then I could put in whatever I want here. This is, you know, I could put in, I go back to insert and I can upload an image. Let's say I'm going to use this image again. I'm just typing this. If I want to put the map on there, I can do an embed. You could choose the layout you want. Do you want it like this? You want it like that? However you want it, you're basically, all you're going to do is copy. If I was to copy, and I'll give you an example, we're going to copy, let's say, tree removal. Let's go back up here and just hit the trash can to get rid of things. It's not really that difficult. But let's say this image is one I wanted to use. I'm going to save this image as, or better yet, let's do it a different way. Let's go here. So this link is linked to something different. You know, whatever your links are linking out to, like in this case, it's going to be tree removal service, right? And this, I want it to link back to this page. So tree service, trees dying service, you know, different things, whatever. But you want to choose the main keyword that you're trying to rank for. Bam. Now that's linked out to that, right? Then I can upload an image, whatever image I'm wanting to put there. I would obviously want to use this image. Do the same thing, copy all this text. You know, you can make it as pretty or as ugly or whatever you want. But the point is you're copying as much of that information from that website and hyperlinking back to the money site. Tree removal costs. How much does tree removal cost? Let's hyperlink back to that. Types of expert tree. You mean you can do the whole damn thing because that's a keyword, but you get the point. So we go back over to pages and I create another page. I do all that. I do all that. What they charge for $2,000, we'll sit there and do it for just under $400, the same amount of what we charge for a regular website. We charge for a G site. By the time we're done, it looks pretty. It's not just, it's, you know, we actually have images. We use this image, lay that out, lay this out, put the buttons in there, make it look good. But let's go back out to this. I'm not publishing it. Once you're done, you hit publish, which is in the top right. Okay. Once you're done with it, then you're gonna, that's when what we were talking about earlier is you then are gonna have your PBN properties, or you're gonna take your backlinks if you're buying backlinks and push those backlinks to all of your Google properties as well as your Google site. Okay. List of PBN sites that you can have on creating a Blogger network, just a couple: blogger.com, Weebly, Tumblr. There's a shit ton of them you can actually use, Web 20 properties, and you create your own. That's that method of me and Anthony, what we were talking about earlier. I'm going to show you tomorrow how to actually create, if you will, an ecosystem using Cityscape, if you will, and mass pages to create mass pages on a domain you buy to create a Cityscape, which is going to be a PBN for, let's say you're trying to rank in Baltimore, all right? But on your PBN, when we do our PBN and our blogs, for example, whenever you do ours, you're going to have an actual article with our links for our hyperlinks. And then on top of it, I'm going to always have my NAP, name, address, phone in there. And I'm going to have a map embed with an insertion of the keyword. I always stack my PBN backlinks. So I don't just sit there and go, let me throw a bunch of 1,000 backlinks at something, and you don't have, A, all of ours are niche, and then B, besides being niche, they all have a name, address, phone number in it, and all have good hyperlinks, all hyperlinks, and I have a table of contents in every single one of them. They'll all link to keywords, and then on top of it, we do a map embed. So on this, you're going to paste the content containing the services, embed the link on Google properties, all that. Reminder, you can create the properties as many as you can produce. So in other words, you could literally, if you wanted to, I'm not telling you to do it, but if you wanted to, you could literally go, okay, I'm only going to create a Google G stack for this keyword and this keyword only. And then I'm going to create another one for this one, 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 and essentially make a Google entity stack a PBN network in and of itself, right? You could do that, but it's not something I do per se. I do it different ways. So these are not my tutorials. Okay, these are just tutorials I thought were pretty cool on how to do a Google tutorial, you know, how to do a Google Sheet, slideshow, form, if you actually want to do them yourself. Just give you an example. Once you know how to do an actual G stack, it'll take you 2 to 3 days just to do one G stack. That's not counting actually making a website out of your G stack. You know, taking, let's say, 20 pages and making that on your Google site into an actual, you know, literal site. So that's pretty much it on the G stack, you know. And like I said, by the time we're done with an actual Google site, it'd be 20 plus pages, have all your neighborhood pages, have all the same stuff. If you have neighborhood pages on there, it will have all that information as well, all the same links, everything. So that's what makes them more powerful versus, you know, you just going to Fiverr and saying, oh, I bought one at Fiverr and it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you're doing the bare minimum. No, it is not unique. The content for, give me 1 second. I'll go through all these questions because there's a bunch of them. Oh my God. Okay, let's go through them all. Okay, so you'd like to see more. That's on the will stack. I'll go through the will stack. It's very easy to do. It's pretty basic. I mean, you could pay me to do it, but I would tell you it's not. You don't need to. The PowerPoint will be uploaded in the back end along with a sample SOP name, address, you know, the information you need before you fill it out in the spreadsheet. I'm feeling good. I'm not fully there yet, but I'm feeling much better. Valerie just had frankly, yeah. I make them, still takes us 3 days to make them. And if you want a regular website, that takes at least a week to 2 weeks to make them out. So $97 is for the Google entity stack. Same email used for the GMB. Nope, doesn't have to be, doesn't need to be. You can create, and that's why I was just talking about earlier, you can create multiple stacks for the same money site for different keywords, and then that keyword is the only thing focused on that stack. You can, I don't think you need to. I don't on any level whatsoever. You can create your own PBN even doing that. 97 is a steal. How often do you update all these Google properties? You set them up one time, and then let's say, I mean, for me, once you set them up one time, you should be good. The only time you need to quote unquote update them is via your IFTT network, which is with your blog. But if you got your IFTT network, which we've already went over, which we also set up for $97, you wind up, when I post a blog on my website, it posts over to Blogger, it posts over to Weebly, it posts over to Tumblr, it posts over to Twitter, it posts over to my entire IFTT network. So once I've done that, I don't have to update shit because I've got it set up. And that's the point of IFTT, and why it makes it so powerful is because all that's connected together, okay? Are you doing this for each keyword group or page? Every single page, yes. What about accounts, Tumblr, all of it, which I just mentioned? You need all that. I have an onboarding form. On that onboarding form, when you place an order, I send it to you. You literally give me your information, and I go and I research. I get as much as possible, and then I use it to create the stack. Same thing I do with schema. So our schema, for example, when we do the same as schema, I'm pulling all of your citations, all of your articles, anything and everything, all your web 20s, all your social properties, all of it. For the current sites you are creating for, you're talking about for rank and rent. Yep. They're not a part of month 2. I mean, yes, they are. I know what you mean, but yes. The basics are the basic G stack. It's not the advanced. The advanced is where I'm talking about creating the G site, and it's going to be every single page for every single one of them. That is not included. It's too much work. It's like creating a separate website altogether. And like I said, it's $350 for it, just like if I was creating a regular site. The guy that will be doing that is also doing some of my backlinking. I have one that is actually on staff, and the other one that has 1 million plus blogs or whatever with his own PB, and I'm having coming on later this week, and I'm working out a deal so y'all get at least 1 free order per person. So Brock would get 1, Jeff would get 1, I would get 1, Valerie gets 1, Chuck gets 1, everybody gets 1. And I can show you, for example, I did that on one of his sites, and normally it takes 2 weeks to a month sometimes for backlinks to pick up. He did it within less than 24 hours. Backlinks were already starting to be picked up on Ahrefs, and rankings were already starting to go up, and new keywords were starting to come in as well. So that's why I knew the shit works, because I tested it out. Is the content on the Google site unique? No, it is not. Duplicate content. I'll keep saying it over and over again, just like everybody and their mom I've heard say it. Duplicate content, at least the people I trust, duplicate content is you going, let me take this same content that's on tree removal and put it on this page and tweak it a little bit, but not much. That's duplicate content. Duplicate content is not me taking a page and putting it on another one of my properties. If that was the case, news sites would not exist, because a news site is me taking one article and blasting it across 100 different articles. Article sites or news sites. Yep, Link Daddy, and he'll be a guest. That is correct. Why I want y'all to wait is because you're going to get a deal. If you don't wait, not getting a deal. So I would wait if I was you. I'll be talking to him later on today. Reason why it takes him a bit of time, he's in Russia now. Our y'all's 8 p.m. and my 8 a.m. is his 3 a.m. So that's why. That's how I want to spend my time making G-Stacks. Yeah, I bet. Turnaround time for G-Stacks is 2 to 3 days. The difference between a $97 G-Stack and a $400 G-Stack is you're going to get everything the same as your regular G-Stack. However, the actual website is a full-blown website. It's not just 2 pages. So if you have 20 pages with neighborhood pages, with location pages, all that shit's now going to be inside of your G site as well, which I said people sell for, like you've heard, Johnny and JJ, they sell them for $2K. And I know they do it, and I know other people does it. Let's see. Thanks. Thanks, Oprah. Since this is so fast, I have a limited budget, is better and longer lasting G stack versus CTR? No. And I'll show you why before we get off this. Yep. Link Daddy is amazing if you're using it, you know, the way I'm going to show you. Okay. Now let's go over to CTR. If I could pull up my CTR, because I have some of it running. Portal. Let me log in. And if you're wondering why I got 40 campaigns versus when y'all have, I think, 15 or whatever, it is due to the sheer fact that I am on a platinum and I get much more than y'all. So let me add a new campaign. Okay, this is not going to be for GMB. It's for Google Search, your Google Traffic Viper. Under your Google Traffic Viper, whenever you're creating a Viper, and I know this is not about CTR, but this is what we do. campaign name. Let's call it Tree Removal Orlando, even though this ain't in Orlando, right? What's the website? I'm just going to call it, you know, www.www.com, whatever, right? And that's where most people leave it at. They drop in their 3 or 4 keywords, how many searches they want, how much time they want, what URLs they want them on. They make it a drip campaign, which is what I tell people to do all the time. What dates you're going to run it from, and always, always, always make this campaign evergreen. That's where most of everybody that got CTR stops at. They hit submit campaign. That's it. I do not do that. I go into geolocation options. I put in the country, city, state, how many radius miles, what's the, you know, all this information, every last bit of it, right? Then besides that, I go into website URL options and I want direct non-search traffic. And then I could in here, if I got Twitter, Google Maps, Google Spreadsheet, my GMB posts, my Tumblr, my Amazon, which is the cloud stacks that we sell for $97 for cloud stacks, which are from places like Amazon, Microsoft. I'm talking about high fucking DA websites. They got like 90+ DA. Google Documents, your Google Images, your Google Site, Yelp, and video embeds. So some of the properties here are from your stack, your Google spreadsheet, your documents, your images, your site, all of that. And then when I hit campaign start, that's why my shit works, because I sit here and I'm putting in all of this. I'm not just going, let me throw some CTR. You could do just some CTR and it'll work. But I could guarantee if you talk to Brent, you talk to Michael, you talk to some of the guys that are using CTR Viper very successfully, they're not just doing one little link. They're doing multiple links. Same reason why when you do YouTube, and I'm doing a YouTube campaign, okay, for video traffic, if you look in here as well, once again, I know it's not a CTR campaign, but we're going to do it. Why would you put your links, and why would you put a NAP, name, address, phone number, and your website link or your GMB link inside your video description? Because you want them, when they're going to that URL, okay, for your campaign, you're wanting them to click on a specific link in that video, right? What comments are you wanting them to generate? They need to have comments relating to your keywords and area you're trying to rank for. Let's say it's Orlando or Montana or wherever. You want them to say, for example, best tree removal service in Orlando by far. Thankfully, I found these guys in Orlando for my emergency tree removal, whatever, right? What keywords? I only do like 4 at a time when I do them, right? You could see the one I did for CTR, right? I want them to like it, subscribe it, share it, add it to favorites, save it for later, evergreen maybe, but definitely these top right here. Because what Google and all them look at is what actions that someone did. When they went to your GMB, are they clicking share? Are they clicking save for later? Are they commenting? Are they not doing anything? They just go on there and clicking. That's it. And then they leave. Well, versus someone that actually clicks to call or goes for directions or shares. I could tell you the ones that do those 3 things on top of it are much more powerful than someone just, I showed up and I clicked the button and that's it. All right. Oh, let's see. And let's see, whoever questions. I already used Link Daddy. Yep. Viper SEO tools. I'll drop that one in here as well. Like I said, I wasn't even trying to talk about Viper, but y'all want to know, so I'll let you know. Let's see. There we go. And I see Michael. He actually did a show with Chase Rayner. I've been talking to Chase and me. We might wind up doing a show together. So he finally got it on board, but we'll see. Any other questions? And I'll go over here and I'll drop the G-Stack stuff for y'all. I mean, I have literally almost everything in here that you could possibly imagine. Yes, set your G-Stack up first, and then after you set up your G-Stack, then run the Viper through it. Any other questions? We're after 9 o'clock already, so. And I will drop, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to drop the business site into there for everybody. Give me 1 second. And once I do, I'm going to give you all a discounted rate. So give me 5 minutes to do this, okay? Chase and I spent time in Vegas together a few years back at an SEO conference. He's awesome. I like him. And number one reason I like him is he'll tell you straight out, he's not like every SEO. Most SEOs will not like him. Most of them don't. He was used to be like kind of like the black sheep. And he even says on one of his videos why I stopped SEO, and it's from the sheer fact that most of them can be a-holes. What am I sending as far as a discount? Well, you wait 5 minutes and I'm going to be uploading a discounted discount coupon just for my GMB people for whenever you're ordering G-Stacks and whenever you're ordering the advanced G-Stack as well. So, but give me 5 minutes and I'm going to drop that in. Y'all can keep going with questions or ask questions or drop questions. I just need 5 minutes to do this. I appreciate it, Mark. Any other questions? Because I'm just waiting on this to load up.
William, we really need you to dumb it down for us. Like, you need to just be like, step 1, do this. Step 2,
the only problem with G-Stacks to do that is I would need probably at least 2 weeks just to go over G-Stack. You know what I mean? Because G-Stacks, if I went to go literally step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over G-Stacks, probably a week, 2 weeks just to do that. But I mean, if y'all really wanted me to, just drop me an email and I'll, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. But okay, for the next, let's say next 24 hours, I'm going to give you all $100 off of the G-Stack if you do the advanced G-Stack. All right. And let me go for product image, put that in there. And that the G-Stack could take the advanced one would take about a week to get done. If it was, if it's the basic one, 2 to 3 days and we're done. And that one's $97. Let me get up here now, and I'm almost done, so I could send it to y'all. Cloud Stack, I mean, I order them off of Fiverr. There is a tool, Stack SEO, that will do them. They're kind of, you could use it, but it's still it's the same thing. You wind up spending more having, to learn how to do it than is actually just doing it. Advanced.
Could you, William, maybe just real quick, like, can you just tell me the stack of what you would do, like, in order, the correct order? So, like, just like you said, like, you're not going to do CTR until once you have all these stacks in place.
I'll tell you, because actually,
yeah. So just
most of the time people ask me, and that's what I tell them. So first thing I would do, okay,
30,000 foot view.
Run an SEO audit, optimize your site, make sure all your technical audit, everything is done, right? Make sure that is completely done. Not that, let's say it's halfway done, not I want to do citations first, nothing. I'm going to do my technical SEO first, right? Once I'm done with my technical SEO, then I will say, okay, let's move on to citations. Then after I do citations, then I go, okay, primer, step back. Prior to citations, do I have my neighborhood pages? After I have my neighborhood pages, then I do my citations. Then after my citations, I will set up an IFTT network. Then after I set up my IFTT network, I'll do a G stack, advanced or basic. It's going to be one or the other. Then after I do that, and I've got my G stack set up, advanced or basic, give me 1 second. Then I'm going to do my backlinks, my powerful backlinks that we're going to be having on here. And then I'll do my cloud stack, which are powerful backlinks. Then and only then do I start CTR. I don't start CTR when I don't even have my basic SEO done. And prior to all that, I skipped one, is the advanced schema. Advanced schema is done after your IFTT network, okay? So it'd be, step back again, it's going to be your technical SEO, run your audit, get that fixed. If you got a GMB, go in there and do your GMB audit, fix those things. But technical SEO and all that, right? Then after we do that, do our citations, then we do our IFTT network because we're setting up all those social accounts. Then we do our advanced schema, and then we do all the stacks. Then we do the backlinks. Then we do the CTR at the end. Here, what JJ spoke about, what his is talking about is overkill, and it's what he charges $2,000 to do, and I will charge y'all $250 to do. You know, I'm giving y'all a discount for 24 hours. After 24 hours is going back up to regular price, which is the $350. G-Stack Advanced. But all it's literally doing is taking your website. If your website has neighborhood pages and has, let's say, 20 other pages, so let's say 50 pages altogether, I'm taking those 50 pages and putting them on the G site, and they're all linked back to your other main money site. That's the biggest difference. And
Hey, William.
They're very powerful.
I might have missed it, but did you go over cloud stacks yet in the course?
Nope.
Are you planning on it?
I could show you all the software, but it's not something I'm making a SOP for. It's much easier just to buy them. That's just, I mean, the software, as some of y'all know, sometimes the software winds up, you're going to have to learn how to use it. I'll go over the software and say, here's the software.
Are you talking about Staxio?
You got it. That's all.
I have it. I haven't used it yet, though.
Staxio is the one I would say to use. There's the link for y'all for the next 24 hours for that G stack. Okay.
Staxio is for G stack, or is it cloud stack?
They
What's the
also
difference?
have cloud stacking. Cloud stacking.
Okay. I haven't gotten into it yet. So
cloud stacking is where I take advanced properties like Microsoft, Amazon, and basically.
Are those connected to the G stack?
You create them, and then you can point them at your G stack, or you can point them directly at your money site or wherever you want. But I would point them at my G stack properties, and I would also point them directly at my money stack.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I sent it just to Delaney. Everybody asked for the link. There it is. But there's some things that I will tell you, just like I posted the other day, you're going to want to save time. It's going to take you longer to do it yourself than it is to pay someone to just do it for you. And you know, it's one of the biggest downfalls I think in most entrepreneurs is we try to do everything ourselves versus, you know, just paying someone to do it.
That's definitely my downfall.
Yeah. So Staxio, yep, is better. It's $800 for Staxio. And that's, you know, my point. Unless you're going to use it on a constant basis and you want to learn to use it, there's kind of pointless to do it. And even us, we have found, and I've bought a lot of these programs. When I say, hey, there's this program that does it, I'm not knocking any of them. I'm just telling you, we've done it enough to know that sometimes they save time and sometimes they don't.